Hey everybody, it's James Cannell here, reporting live from the guest room in my house. What am I here to talk about today? The LRT, darn it! That's one of my favorite topics to talk about. Why? Well, it should be pretty obvious, but let's review. Where the LRT goes, value flows. What do I mean by that? Well, the Southeast LRT expansion to Millwoods area has driven values like crazy through Bonnie Doon into Avonmore into Northwest Millwoods. Very hot areas to buy. Now, we know that the second part of this LRT expansion is underway. It's happening. It's going west. And I want to talk about that today. First things first. Why does value follow the LRT line? The simple answer is accessibility. When you make an area of the city more accessible to more people, it's going to drive value. In fact, when people can get to work, when they can get to the university, when they can get to school. Oh, and here's my executive assistant right here. Hold on. Oh, there we go. All right. It reminds me of that post where that British guy, when he was talking about the news or something, his kids barged into the room and then his wife tried to drag the kids out. This is much less invasive, but probably just as cute. I know. Let me do my broadcast. Okay. So let's get back to it. We're talking about the LRT. Why does value follow it? Be accessibility. Helps people get around. So when we look at the corridor southbound from downtown through the U of A, out through Pleasant View, through Malmo to Southgate Mall, all that property value started jumping in 2006 when the LRT started rolling. And now, here we are 15 years, 2020, the value appreciation along that line outpaced the rest of the city. Southeast, same thing is happening. So if you want to have a crystal ball to answer the question, where should I be investing? The answer is obvious. It's the West End. It's west along the LRT line. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, there have been a few rumors out there. Is it happening? Is it not happening? Is it going ahead? Is it not going ahead? Well, Edmontonians, this is my challenge to you. Hop on the road and take a drive. You are going to see backhoes backhoeing. You're going to see concrete torn up. You're going to see houses that have been bulldozed. You're going to see sewer lines that are in progress. Some of the tracks are even already complete on the west direction downtown. What I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to do a little screen share, and we're going to check it out. We're going to see what's going on. What's going on with the screen share? Well, this is right from the EPCOR website. Very handy tool for those of you that are research enthusiasts. So what you can do is look at the map to see where the LRT is going. And this is more for the neighbors, for the residents, etc. How does this impact you? You can see the car. Why? Because traffic is impacted and it's going to be for a while. What are they going to do about the adjacent properties? What to expect during construction, etc., etc. This. If you want to complain about the LRT, you can call this number and they'll apologize and then keep construction going anyways. So the good news is, we're well underway with the project. There's also a great report that you can download, which I have, that summarizes this quite nicely. So you can see right here, they've broken it down into zones. They're showing off some of the equipment, little lip service to COVID. Of course, they're being COVID safe. And then just some overviews of what's going on with the different zones. So where the work is happening, underground tunneling, etc., etc. Here is a very interesting piece of information. Utility relocations. So this is the first part of our project. What does this mean? Moving sewer and stuff around. Basically, the groundwork. 2019 to 2022. Great. That's part one of a very big project. What happens after the utilities are relocated? Then we get to start doing things like laying track and getting ready, putting in traffic lights, etc., etc. So the cool thing about the opportunity that presents itself in the West End here is that we have lead time to acquire properties in the target areas. Let me repeat that. We have lead time to acquire properties in the target areas. In fact, I was just on the phone with one of our clients from Victoria, Mr. Lee Black. So Lee, this is a shout out for you. I hope you're watching, buddy. He just purchased a skinny home in the West End, which is basically an infill development. For those of you around the country, infill is what we in Edmonton call it when you knock down a crusty old property and build a beautiful new property in its place. The cool thing about Edmonton's price points is you can get brand new properties in our target zone, and you can get them in a place where they will cash flow. The prices work, the rents work. It's awesome. So let's have a look at that. Again, 2019 to 2022, probably the project should be completed by 2025. Knowing Edmonton, we're notorious for construction delays because winter always creates construction delays. That's Edmonton for you. So, it could be anywhere from 5 to 7 years before you can actually hop on that train and take a ride. But you can start investing now. And we basically get a double dose of buying opportunity because we're predicting the future. We know what's coming in terms of project and COVID. COVID is going to impact the market. It's going to make sure that now is a good buying opportunity. And when we start to see inflation, because of all the money the Canadian government got printed, we know that inflation leads to value growth in hard assets, silver, gold, real estate, etc. So pick up property before things start inflating, and you are going to be a happy camper because in addition to that point, we know that Edmonton in the last 10 years hasn't grown very much. Too bad, so sad, except in some of these target areas where infrastructure is being built. We're talking Southeast LRT. We're talking the core, most desirable neighborhoods close to the river. So even though at a glance, Edmonton as one macro market hasn't done extremely well on the equity side, the micro markets within Edmonton have done very, very well. If you are boots on the ground, you're local, you know where to look. So let's have a little peek at what's out there to give you an idea of something that might work for you. So this is Paragon. For those of you who have never seen Paragon, Paragon is a nifty tool. It's a web app that allows us realtors to do searches for properties with some advanced search parameters that you just don't get on realtor.ca. What I've done is I've gone ahead and blocked off the West End section of the city where the LRT is going. If you want to overlay the maps, there's going to be a stop. Point your finger here, south on 156 there, and then right here basically where that number 3 is. So let's have a look-see and search for these properties. Now, what we're coming up with are properties that are new. I wanted to stick to the stuff that's easy to manage, that's going to attract great tenants, that's not going to have a lot of repairs and maintenance. Why? Because I know you guys are tuning in from across Canada to check this out. I'm picking properties that typically are very appealing to folks who are from outside of Edmonton. Let me just pick one of these at random. You can see there's a lot of really great looking infill style properties. I filtered by age. I'm going to pick one here that I think is at a great price point. Let's have a look at this guy right here. Little click-a-roo here. And what are we dealing with? Well, 157 and 105, that's about 5 blocks from the LRT. Great looking new house. $449 price point. I know from those of you from Vancouver, it's hard to even imagine a house at $450 anywhere near downtown, but hey, that's what we're dealing with in Edmonton. Nice and large, just about 1,600 square feet. And while there is not a basement suite in it right now, I know for a fact that this builder would be more than happy to include a basement suite, build it out before you take possession as part of the purchase. So let's just have a little peek. Oh, it's pretty. We've got nice windows. Obviously, there's a little bit of bling inside. Shows very well. I'm just going to click through to give you guys an idea of what's available in Edmonton right now. I mean, it's fabulous what you can get for the price points. And think about a tenant that would want to live here. You know, this is not going to attract a ragtag sort of tenant. This is going to attract a discerning tenant with criteria where they want to see something that is at a higher quality. They'll pay higher rent because this place is beautiful. It's brand new. It's very classy in terms of its renovation. some vaulted ceilings, very spacious, really swanky ensuite. It's got everything you want. For some of you that are watching, you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, my tenants are going to live in a nicer house than me. Well, hey, you know what? If they're paying you great market rent, let them have it. And then in the basement, there are no basement pictures here because it is currently unfinished. We head into the backyard, got a cool deck. Since this photo was taken, the yard has been finished and there is a garage back there as well. So what are we working with? We're working with a list of properties in the west end of the city that are new, that are ready to go. Now, a question I'm going to answer that has probably been asked by at least some of you is, hey, I'm a value adder. I'm not a turnkey kind of person. I want to renovate. I want to build a legal basement suite. Maybe I want to build a side-by-side duplex. What's out there? The answer is a whole schwack of awesome bungalows, because this whole area here was built more or less in the 60s and into the early 70s. So there are oodles and oodles of older bungalows that are prime targets for renovation, adding a basement suite, adding value, doing the BRRR method: buy, renovate, refinance. That's what you want to do. So, guys, I hope this is some exciting updates on where the LRT is at least showing you in the direction of where these resources are. I'm on the EPCOR site. The City of Edmonton website has a bunch of great resources as well. So what's my takeaways? It's got to be LRT. I own a boatload of properties in that West End area because I've got that 5 to 10 year vision for appreciating value in my properties. I own single family. I own multifamily. I own old properties. I own brand new properties. But I want to be near that infrastructure. I hope you guys appreciated a little bit of an update. If you want that list of 17 properties in the West End, just send me a quick DM. I'll email it to you so you can browse it just for market perspective. If you just want to take a look and a peek, don't worry about it. We're not saying, hey, put in an offer tomorrow. It's more just for information's sake. And with that, our Thursday Live comes to an end. I will bid you all adieu, and I'll see you next Thursday to talk about real estate. Have a good one, everybody.